So Vitaly, we're going to be switching to you now, and you have a lot to live up to because that was incredibly interesting and really important and useful. So I'm going to share and give you remote control so that you can enlighten us on the basics of what you're going to be talking about regarding implementation of secure architecture and things like that. And for our audience, Vitaly's been specialized in application security project management, SSDLC, cloud mobile, and all kinds of different technologies. And as I mentioned, his day-to-day work is to implement secure architecture and complex information security systems. Vitaly, welcome to the Meetup.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And is it possible you move to presentation mode?
Okay.
So maybe I can click.
Yeah, you can control the screen.
Yes, but I think you first should move to the slideshow presentation.
Okay, give me just one second. Yeah, I have you. Okay.
At the bottom. Yeah. No, it's the share screen. Yeah. Okay, great. But
there you go.
Can just at the bottom of the presentation we have the the icon exactly. Yeah. So let's see if it will work for me. Okay. Okay. Great. Can you see? Share. Okay. Great.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much, and thank you for joining this meetup. So I'm glad to be here. You already introduced me. So 2 words about myself. So I used to be a developer, and for many years moved to the security, and now I'm an application security architect at JFrog, and responsible for SSDLC's security software development lifecycle. JFrog, and we will talk about application security, meaning product security. From my point of view, it's kind of equal to the application security, and the supply chain. Okay, so what can we do, our due diligence, and how the frameworks like SLSA will help us. So our agenda. So first, I know that you had already took me about the half of my presentation regarding the malicious packages and attacks. But I will just cover in the 2 words about what is supply chain and what is security issues on the supply chain exist and what are the attacks we have. We will lightly introduce SLSA, so what is it and how it will help us. Again, it's going to be mostly from the application security point of view, okay? And we're not going to deep dive inside the entire framework and discuss in details about how to sign things or how to verify things. We will talk about why and less about how. We will see some kind of the difference between the SLSA framework and some other frameworks we have in this area, like S2C2F by Microsoft initially, and some others. And now we'll talk about what can we do. Okay, so our now recommendations, best practices, what we need to take as the next step here. So first of all, supply chain and software supply chain. I mean. So what is it? Just do one slide about it. So it's kind of the process contains different components, libraries, tools, which will help me to produce binaries and actually my products. Okay, so because from software point of view, our products will build by the binaries, artifacts. So we have the developer, and this developer will write the source code and push it to some kind of store. And then we will run the build process. This build process will take a lot of steps by testing something and do some other stuff. And then actually we will produce our product, our software artifacts. Then we can release and distribute those artifacts to our end users. Okay, so that's in general, what is the software supply chain process. And we will talk about the developer because it's, again, it's most important from my point of view, and the build process. Okay, so developers and build. Let's see if I can move forward. Yeah. Okay, can you, okay. So I'm now on attack flows. It's okay? You see the attack flows slide? Okay, great.
Yeah, fine.
So what the problems? As we already discussed, so the it's a lot of options, how we can attack our supply chain and our CI/CD. In general, the most commonly used flows now, it's going to be the third-party packages dependencies. And once I have, as you know, that we, as the software producers and software consumers, we have the numbers are different, but we are talking about 70%, maybe 80% of our code is part of the third-party, created by third-party open source packages. And there are a lot of options how actually those packages might be pulled by our developers to the source code, to our internal repositories. And again, yeah. So and why? Okay, so why I will, as an attacker, I will choose this option because it's first of all, it's very easy. Now, it's very easy to build or to attack third-party packages. As the Yoad already presented, we have a lot of attack vectors like dependency confusion, typo squatting, etc. We will see. Just I don't want to repeat the definition of those attacks, but it's kind of it's very useful attacks and very some kind of requires the low level technical skills to run those attacks. But here I would say maybe not for all attacks. I need the low skills because some of them, like hijacking, we will see later, requires actually the account takeover from the contributor side. So I can use the compromised contributor account in order to hijack the code, malicious code inside the existing trusted package. And the one important thing here is the trust we have. So we have the trust of those contributors, of those third-party packages we are using. We're using a lot of third-party packages and frameworks. And so this trust is kind of so I have the GitHub, I have the NPM, I have a lot of sources and package managers. And I think that if I can give the trust to Google, or I can the trust to the JFrog, GitLab, whatever. So yes, it's the solid companies. I trust them, but again, we will see that this trust should be somehow be concreted by the signature at least, or some other options. So again, it's kind of the I'm back on the already discussed topics. So we have the actually three parts of the three types of the threats. We have the CV based, unintentional, intentional, and we have the malicious components. Okay, again, CV based is common vulnerability and impression. Is the very common way to provide the identity to the existing issue and document it. And later we can actually find those CVs, scanners, software composition analysis scanners, etc. And we have not CV. Okay, not CV is the malicious, and we will see in examples. And we already discussed it, like now SolarWinds, it's the kind of intentional backdoors. Again, provides the CV, so it's CV based now, but it was the intentional. We also have unintentional, like Spring Shell. It's very popular Spring Java framework, very commonly used by community. And the remote code execution was introduced by the bug. Actually, is based on the flaw of the bug inside the package. And as you can see, even the example of CV. And we have something discovered by researchers based on the non-CV packages, like malicious packages. Okay, so now what? Okay, so we know that we have dependencies. We know that it might be the different type of attack on the third-party packages on our dependency. So what we can do in order to build the real trust to our package management systems. And we have, I think, several frameworks here in this area. We have the supply chain security, software supply chain security maturity model based on the Google initiatives called SLSA, and we will talk about it a little bit. We have the framework from the Microsoft. They created the consumer part of the supply chain security. We have the NIST publication, and we have some others, but let's talk about the SLSA and why SLSA is the kind of the important framework for us at this moment, and why now community talking about the SLSA. So let's just now think about what is it and what the problems it came to solve. So first of all, it's kind of the I would say the framework or requirements and guidelines provides down the way to understand what we need to do actually in order to be secure on the entire flow, end-to-end flow from the source to the consumer, to the packaging and production, and how to actually go back to the code if we need and see that all the steps documented and digitally signed. Okay, so I can see all the flow, and that's great, and understand where my code pulled from and what the environment used, etc. And the threads defined by the SLSA, as you can see, are following. So it's on the source track, we have the submit unauthorized change. Okay, so someone can just submit the code without review and compromise source repo. As we discussed that, maybe someone can just take over the contributor account, build from modified source. Okay, third-party dependencies. And also, I like that how they presented the dependencies part, because the dependencies, I think it's the central place here on this framework. So dependencies are everywhere on the source side, on the build side, on the package side. And we have a lot of issues with dependencies. So where we take it from, and we are using the only trusted repos, etc. So dependency is very important from this SLSA point of view. And we also have the build threads or build track. which is the build process itself. So how we can say that our build process is the secure enough, like isolated. We are running our build on isolated environment, and we only communicate internally to internal repositories, etc. Okay, and because it's maturity levels, okay, maturity framework, we have 4 levels on the SLSA. So level number 0 is actually doesn't exist, so it's kind of we don't have nothing. We maybe want to have a secure supply chain, but at this moment we don't have any documentation or some other artifacts, to start work with. To level 1 is the kind of we have documentation. We have a software build of materials, SBOM, at least SBOM for all our binaries we are creating. And maybe we have also the metadata, like, okay, so I also have the CI/CD process, and I want to document the environment variables here, the parameters, and all the steps there. So I have, in addition to SBOM, I also have some kind of the metadata. Level number 2, I need to start sign those documents to produce some kind of the provenance that SBOM and the metadata actually correct and trusted, okay? And it's all about the tampering. And then the level 3, I need to harden my build platform. As I said, it should be hermetic and isolated, etc. Let's see what is the provenance, because it's inside, it's everything actually built on the provenance. The provenance is the JSON, well-known JSON format. It's in Toto, used in Toto format to specify the steps and the subjects and the sources on the build process. And then I have an option to sign it, okay, and the signature. So I can creating the metadata of this provenance, and I sign it, okay, and signature provided by the DC standard, okay, is the, I don't know, I cannot see, I cannot see your hands, but just if you can raise the hands on the comments if you used to have DC before we started to work now in the SLSA and attestation platforms. Okay, for me it was pretty new format, so how to sign envelopes. DC solves problems introduced by Yoad and by some other signature options. Like it's not only for the JSON format, and don't need to run the canonicalization operation on the message itself and some others. So it's very, very good option to sign things. So we have everything we need. So we have the way to create the provenances, and we have the way to sign it, digitally sign it, in order to create the trust, actually, because we need this trust if we want to understand if this software was pulled from the correct place, etc. So current status of the SLSA, that they started on the previous version. Now it's version 1.0. The previous version was kind of the draft, and they started to think about the source and the build and the package tracks. So now they mostly working about the build, because from the SLSA point of view, the build is the central of the entire process. And if we can secure our build process, we actually can close mostly 80% of the issues. And the source and the package, currently it's not covered, okay? So just, again, I don't want to back to the previous session. I just wanted to show you two or three attacks, two infection methods used by the malicious packages. So one of the type squatting, we discussed about it. So it's kind of how I can trick developer to download, to pull the package based on some typo inside the install part, and in this way I can actually create my package, create the malicious package. This is some kind of the change inside the name, and then maybe developer will occasionally download this package instead of the correct one. The same for the masquerading, and just so I will masquerade the trusted and good package and just add some very little change there, the prefix, for example, or postfix to this package, and this package will do exactly the same as the original one, but I will add the backdoors there or some malicious parts. So dependency confusion, also discussed. I want just to think. To keep you in mind this issue, because I will back to dependency confusion later. We will see what might be the problem on the build side. So in general, yes, we have internal package, and this internal package should be only pulled from the internal repository. But if I know the name, somehow it's not the trick to now to get the internal package names. It's a lot of options how to do that, and I will create the public repository the same name but the highest version. Okay, artifact management system but it's how it works. It might actually download it from the public repository instead of providing the local copy. And hijacking, so the hijacking is also very useful attack. It's actually the option how I can add the malicious code. In most cases, we will see some kind of obfuscated code injected to the existing package. So it's not so easy. It's a tricky how to do hijacking, because we need somehow to take over the legitimate package by compromise the contributor, or just direct access to the build flow for this package, etc. But yes, it's possible, and we have some examples. So what the SLSA will recommend us for actually dependencies on the source side, when developer will want to pull third-party dependencies from the external repository, from the internal repository. As you can see, okay, by the mitigation, it's currently not in scope of current version. So in the future version, I hope it will be covered. But for now, we should think about something, so how to protect our developers, now to block, or now to somehow to help them not to bring bad packages inside. Okay, it's a big issue, because there are a lot of options to how to download it, how to pull it, and bring it inside the source code. And here we can use some completion frameworks, and another framework we have, also managed by OpenSSF, initially created by Microsoft. It is S2C2 framework, secure supply chain consumption framework. And as you can see here, and we're talking about level 3, level 1, 2, and 3, yes, so that it's more about to run scanners, okay, to scan our third-party packages and then verify it and curate it. So the missing part here is the signature, but we have signature on the SLSA side, so it's kind of the completed now from the consumer point of view, because as the application security team, we want to help our developers firstly not to bring malicious packages inside the organization. So how can we do that? We can run different scanners and tools. On JFrog, we have curation. Curation will kind of the filter, provide kind of filter and the proxy to see all the requests to the external repository and just filter it based on the policy. So I don't want to bring a malicious package or outdated package or kind of the package with known vulnerabilities inside. Maybe I can stop to now download package which is not past 2 weeks or 10 days since the new version was introduced, etc., etc. So I have a lot of filters, have a lot of options to how to stop a malicious package to be downloaded by developer. But we have the problem here, and the problem is that based on the President Biden's executive order regarding the software supply chain, we should protect and verify all the third-party packages we have in our organization. And it might be like that. Okay, so transitive dependencies. It's very, very common that we have dependencies of dependencies of dependencies. Okay, and we only, as our source code, first-party code, we only bring the one package, but this package contains other packages and other packages and other packages. And then based on the SLSA, we should verify all of them. Okay, now just look at this and good luck, okay, to verify all the packages and all the provenances. So about the build stage, I don't want to talk a lot about why it's important that our build process in our environment will be secured, but I wanted now to talk about the one thing. So based on the SLSA provenances we need to verify on the build side is that, first of all, that we bring our source code from the trust repository and our dependencies from the trust repository. And then we also need to be sure that our platform is isolated, okay, and secured, our build platform. And first of all, think about the warm setup. So the warm setup, I don't know if you're aware of these best practice, I would say, that as the DevOps guys, we want to set up the environment once, and then we will build our CI process just to create the new containers for our new CI process, and then to kill this container and create again. But for example, for Kubernetes, as an example, the cluster and the pod will be there, so I don't need to create it again. So the next time I just will to spin up the new container on it, and that's it. But this practice is not secure enough based on the SLSA. Okay, so we should take it in consideration. Then we need to actually provide the segmentation between the environments if we need to be compliant with SLSA. And also, one more issue is this dependency confusion. So based on the SLSA, I want to verify that my dependencies, I pull my dependencies from the trusted source. But let's think about how our package managers or our Artifactory management system will provide me the package. So I will ask my local environment, so please provide me this package. But behind the scenes, based on the version I have of an internal package, it might be, so my package manager might just provide me the package from the external repository. And I know how I do about it. Yes.
Vitaly, forgive the interruption. This is so amazing. We want to just kind of wrap up now for the moment. We're going to hold questions till the end today, and we have two more folks presenting. So if you can just be kind enough to kind of wrap it up.
Okay, no problem. So actually, it's kind of the latest slides. So I know that it's just kind of the mix about the SSDLC process and the SLSA, and you can see that sometimes the SLSA say that the SLSA is the SSDLC can replace SDLC, but it's not. Okay, I just want to provide the note here that SSDLC is the entire process of the security development lifecycle inside the organization, including the training for developers and the design, security design review and threat modeling and penetration test, etc. And the SLSA is only can provide the way how to secure your CI/CD process. Okay, it's only part of it. It's very important part of the SSDLC process, but it cannot replace your SSDLC inside the organization. Okay, and since you have the presentation, we have here the example of how to detect malicious packages and what the problem, this detection of malicious packages. So I don't want to emphasize on it, and just go to the summary. So the first of all is the supply chain security is very important and should be in place. I don't need now to explain why. So SLSA is not the SSDLC framework. Okay, it's very important. Also, it complete the SSDLC. It will help SSDLC, but it's not can't replace SSDLC. And we have two towers here. Number one is to prevent the bad packages be pulled by developers or build process. And SLSA is not it will help us, but we need scanners, okay, to prevent those bad packages be downloaded. And the second tower is the isolation of our build platform. We should provide and verify provenness that build environment isolated and our dependencies pulled from the trusted place. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you so much. There is a lot to unpack there, that's for sure. And as I mentioned, we're going to be having the recording for everyone to be able to see everything that has transpired so far. And these presentations will be on the LinkedIn page. So thank you so much for that outstanding briefing.